dias. Welcome back to Seville. It's about 11 o'clock in the morning and I'm headed out for another food tour. Today's food tour is called the Ugly Food Tour. It's advertised itself as being delicacies that normally might not be tried by the tourists, and I'm very, very excited because I think it's going to be quite an adventure. Am I going to like everything? Probably not. Am I going to like that I tried them? Yeah. Am I going to try everything? Well, I hope so. Unless it has cheese in it, then I have no interest. But let's see. See how I do.
Since then, until 19th century, same pontoon bridge, but with a platform on top. It was founded 2,800 years ago, 9th century BC. Long time ago. Okay. That's true. I'm missing one person.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do it with the rest of the ingredients on the dish. That's
Hola a todos. Welcome back to Seville. Today I had a pretty great day, as all days have been so far. But in particular, I went on another food tour. But this one was the Ugly Food Tour. And the reason why it's ugly is it's being a little facetious. Obviously, if you like this, like the food, nothing's ugly. But what was really interesting is this food tour was very, very historical based, because our tour guide felt that he couldn't tell the story about the food without telling the story about the city and the history and, you know, Spanish history in particular. And it was pretty cool. I was really looking forward to this one because it wasn't like I said, it wasn't the standard fare. It was exotic. And I didn't know how exotic it was going to be until I got going. I surprised myself. There was nothing on the menu that I didn't try, and there was no cheese. So that worked out. So what did I eat? Well, some pretty standard fare. The garbanzos and spinach, or chickpeas and spinach. I had that last night as well. Had it again today. I don't like spinach, but they really know how to make it flavorful. Some oil, some spices, and all that. The next thing was a pinto, which is usually vegetarian. It's basically like a vegetable stew, but they also incorporated eggs in it, which was really, really interesting to see. And then the exotic stuff started coming out. For example, oxen or bull. And that was an interesting taste. It was a very, like it's a stew. Apparently, unless you cook it properly, ox can be chewy. And it was really interesting too because he explained, our tour guide explained that a lot of the reasons why it's so flavorful, the sauces, they take great care in creating the sauces because you either have to cover the taste of something or you have to cover the texture. And in this case, it's really, it was suggested that if you have to chew for a while, then it better be good. But of course the place, which is just over here in the market, they did it well. So it really doesn't matter. It was both great texture and great taste. And then of course we tried these little cubes. They looked like basically tofu, but it was coagulated or congealed pig's blood. And again, really, really tasty because of the sauces and these glazed onions that they included with it. And it was really good. I actually wound up having seconds, both of them, just to see, you know. And yeah, it was really good. And then our next Our next adventure was to try a few other things, including like we walked from the market to a new place, and I'm still not sure, but we might have had pigeon. He suggested that it was pigeon, but then he said it was a joke, but it was really quail. But it wasn't really a joke, but it was a joke. And I'll have to take that at face value. From what I understand, the pigeons aren't as meaty as what we had. But it was good. It was really good, very spiced, like very, very well. And that's the idea too, right? Like it's not a big portion, but it tasted good. And I tried snails, which I was really, so yeah, I was really looking forward to it because I had no idea whether I'd be too grossed out about it, right? Snails are, you know, kind of gross. And it's not, these aren't like escargot, right? Like escargot in France, snails, but they're farmed and they're, you know, there's great care in acquiring the snails, right? And they're very clean snails and meant for eating. These, on the other hand, are like, you know, what traditional poor man's snails, which is hilarious. Like they're ground snails, and they dig them up, and you know, and they were great. They really quite savory. The sauce itself, even like dipping the sauce in, I was having a little trouble. Like they all seemed to be able to like suck them out of the shells, no problem. But for whatever reason, I had to go in there and pull them out with a toothpick, which is okay too. But yeah, what a cool experience. And then I think the last one was a pringa sandwich, which is basically like a leftover stew that you thicken and then slap together on a sandwich, and that like the next day, third day, fourth day, whatever, which was also really, really good too. Very, very savory, very spicy. Yeah, it was a really good day. And then, you know, I had to rush back to work. But yeah, I was full all day and just really satisfied at, like, you know, eating something really cool and good. I like that. So yeah, you can't get a day better than this. Also, I'm in Triana, which is the hip neighborhood in Seville. It hasn't always been the hip neighborhood, of course. It used to be the outskirts of town. It's where, you know, what they said was the sailors and the Roma were the first people living out here. And you know, for everyone who couldn't get into the town across the river, there used to be, of course, a wall that kept a lot of people out. But over here, you might not be in the city, but you could also do whatever you wanted. So when you think about those sailors, it was probably better off that they hung out here. But it's my first time. I finally crossed the river to check it out. I got to the market as well. Got a few things on my way out, but I'm going to have to take a little bit more of a tour of the place because it's supposed to be the best market around. And from what I saw, I could see that. So I'm going to have to come back, buy lots of food. In fact, I'm taking a cooking class tomorrow, so I'm going to have to go get some fresh ingredients after that so that I can practice the stuff that I've learned. And I have no idea what we're cooking. I'm kind of curious if we're going to cook some snails. We probably aren't. But I would not be upset if we did. I think we're definitely making paella, which I've never had in my life. And I've been warned so many times that if you go to a touristy place, it's not going to be good. So I got to find the right place. But what's better than making it myself? Well, you know, getting to learn how to make it authentically, which is great. But that's for tomorrow. So I hope you guys are doing great. I'm doing great. I hear it's really, really cold back home. I'm so sorry. because it's really starting to warm up over here and I'm feeling guilty. And I really hope that you guys take care of yourselves in the cold. So with that, I'll let you guys go. I'll chat with you tomorrow or hasta mañana. And we'll figure out how good a cook I am. Spanish cook. Good night, everyone.